20, and the month is gradually moving. In the last couple of days, Nigeria has experienced some dramatic turnarounds with regards to the unity among young people and the clarion call for the end of SARS, which on Sunday, the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, finally said that the SARS has been disbanded, has been dissolved. Now, with this declaration, there are still a lot of concerns from Nigerians, especially the young ones. And this is why the conversation this morning on the big question is extremely important for us to begin to deliberate and look at the betterment of the Nigerian police force. And that's why the conversation this morning is the end of SARS and the Police Act of 2020. Executive Director of Dame Diary Foundation, Indicator, is going to be my first speaker this morning. And you can also join us in this conversation by putting a call through on 07000 917 917 to be part of this conversation. Good morning, Indy.
Good morning.
Yes, thank you for joining us. I'm aware that your voice is out from. Hello?
Yes, it is. It is.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry about that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Keep going. The voice we have, we'll use it whichever way.
Yes, and over the weekend we have seen where the collective voice of the young of the youth have been able to drive and put pressure on the government to drive that change that we all desire. What does this particular the last events that have happened in the last few days? What do they signify for young people?
It signifies that we're tired. The country we met was a mess, and it has gotten significantly worse as we've grown. And at this point, we don't see any favorable future. We don't see. Our leaders are gerontocrats. These are old people that many of them even have like damning diseases. But at this very point, somebody said this on social media, that our leaders have ailments, right, that you would say this person is quarter to go. But even they have a higher chance of seeing tomorrow than we, the young people. Do you know what that means? For somebody who is dealing with several kinds of cancer, to have a better chance of seeing the next day than you who is in the prime of your youth. It is just, it's not what we're looking towards. Like, this is not working. It has to change. This protest is entrance, but it represents a lot of things for us. It represents a lot of things for us. It is that, look, this generation of older people need to sit up and listen. Whatever system you created for the Nigeria that is like this today is not working. And a new group of people are saying, this is not what we want. This has to change. This is what the entire protest is. Yesterday, one person in government was telling me, yes, they have ended SARS. They have ended SARS. Now let's go back. We say we are not the generation of people that you will throw crumbs at us and say protest is over. We are not the ones. We have come out and answered so many things. Children are at home, are so strike. They should prepare because children from university students have sent us messages that on the 28th they are coming to join. Children at home, over 7 million people. Look at the job loss numbers. Some adults are saying we are jobless, that's why we are on the street. Newsflash, we are jobless. It's not an insult, there are no jobs. We are angry, yes, we are. We know they hear what we have not gotten the kind of leadership that would make us listen to you people. A generation has created a patronage network from civil society to people who used to protest, to pastors, imams, people in government, police, created a system that is who know who. A system that cannot work for the average Nigerian. We are tired. And we are on the street manifesting that tiredness. That is what NSAS is. And if these people think that all these ones are doing, we saw bullets. I'm asthmatic, they shot me tear gas, we move, we continue. I run an organization. I live a privileged life. Let them not think that it is some kind of people that are on the street. And even if it is some kind of people that are on the street, that is the kind of Nigeria we are fighting for. That whether or not you are rich or poor, the system and the country must listen to you. This is why we are on the street.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. If we keep this conversation ongoing, which is what we are trying to do as much as possible. Now, the youths have made 5 demands from the government, and also as of Sunday, the Inspector General of Police had dissolved the the special anti-robbery squad across the 36 states of the federation, including the Federal Capital Territory, with immediate effect. Now, the conversations that is ongoing right now is the fact that the youths have demanded for an executive order. Why is this a very important pointer in the end of to actually mark the end of SARS?
So for the youth, the executive order is not just, oh, we want that beating. No. Where is our president? Why are the young people in your country? If I want to say, why is your country on fire? And you have not said anything. All we saw was a photo of. They should read the room. Read the room. Why are we seeing photo shoots? Sometimes when they call by your mobile, it's not every picture you should carry. At some point, press his camera is a very expensive camera. Press video. This has video capability. By your hands, you must press video sometimes. Let us hear. Because it cannot be that young people they want to hear their president, and you are still there like a monarch when we are in a democracy. No. Buhari needs to speak. That is what people are asking for. But at a time like this, the president needs to show his face. He's not to tell us he has meetings with so and so. No, you are elected. And when you are elected, you are a servant leader. You answer to us. When we are talking, people in the older generation will say, you don't have respect. You have already done like this. No, I don't have respect. Respect is earned. If my president wants my respect, he must earn it. And I want us to normalize this. I want us to normalize this. That whoever wants respect should be earned. We cannot be talking about the policy and you be telling us respect. Right now, this man owes us talking to us. He owes us an explanation as to why kidneys has skyrocketed under him. Why there is the absolute devaluation of the Nigerian life under him. Answer to me. When we went to the IG office and we asked them that it was the IG we wanted to speak to, the police got the same respect. And our generation, we are thinking one song, we get coconut head, we know they hear words. They think when we call something, they must listen. And they will not throw these diversionary tactics at us. Okay. Oh, you people, you are disobedient, you have not planned. Actually, we have planned one of the best protests in Nigeria. There is no leadership of this protest. So you cannot call anybody to the negotiating table. And if you take small crumbs and you sell us out. That was the essence of this protest. Yeah. You say that we did not plan our protest well. But look at your people. We have raised over 20 million naira to sustain a protest. When they arrest us nationwide, we are getting ourselves out of policemen. And you tell us we have not planned. Show us the protest they have planned better since Nigeria got better. And if they have, why are we here?
Thank you so much, Indy. But let's try and take one or two calls this morning to be part of this conversation. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. God bless you.
Good morning. Your name and where you calling from?
Odede from Ikeja.
Good morning, Odede.
Thank God the SARS has been dissolved. But I will say that it's not yet Uhuru. Because those who are benefiting from the high-handedness of SARS, those who are benefiting for the huge corruption that the devil SARS, they are still there. And they wouldn't want this spoon to be taken away from their mouth. So they would devise other means of making money. So personally, I wish that the whole gamut of the lot in the police can be addressed. Presently, the senior officers, it's not just about those who are on the road that are terrorizing people, extorting people. Those senior officers put them there, and they get daily, I have it on good authority, they get daily returns from these boys. So someone that has been used to getting 100,000 naira in a day, and they will say that their SARS has been disbanded. Will you not devise another means of getting these boys to go maybe to the streets of call them another name, call it raiding, call it going to hot spots and raiding people and be collecting money. If you go to the police station, you will see what is going on there. Those police, those BPOs, they are like bank managers. You will see these boys coming back from here, left, right, and center to report. Hey, sir, this is 25,000. This is 30,000. You know, they make money. You see the cells, the police, the guys that are locked up in human cells, you know, gang packed everywhere. Whenever they come for bail, a minimum of 5,000 naira for bail. That is what goes on in police stations. How are we going to address these issues too, so that it will not just be about SARS?
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much. The 07000917917 is the number to call to be part of this conversation. I have over the telephone with me this morning, Indicator with me, the executive director of Dignidary Foundation. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning to you.
Albert,
good morning, Albert.
Yes, sir. Well done, sir. The woman is really trying to answer. Let us know that the rate of crime in this country now is so alarming that even we, if we are not careful, we will later pay for us to come back. Let us talk about restructuring the South and putting a condition whereby everybody knows your rights. I would not say we're not trying to legalize Yahoo in the society. The crime that Yahoo boys even commit is even more terrible than the one that even the highway robber commit. What are you telling me? Substance. Have you talked about the crime going on in our community? Most of it now in my own area, it's not called that. We cannot even sleep. That is it. Somebody said this year, I said I just come out. All this way are killing now. Anyway.
Okay. There you have it, Albert in Ikorodu. 07000917917. India, I'm going to have to let you go shortly. But what is your take on those who are, pro SARS, and there has been a campaign of end SARS, and in the course of the weekend I saw another video of a group of people who were saying we want SARS. What is your perspective to that, those opinions?
Just finished speaking says there are other things that people can advocate for, and at the same mouth you get, now I get the same leg you have is what other people have. If you want to advocate for something, hit the streets now. If you think there are more important things that you take your time, hit the street. In the places where the people are needed the most, their presence are not felt. During the COVID-19 lockdown, one of your boys were having a few times in Lagos. Imagine it was not people that had to come out with markets from their houses and sit out, and where was the fan? Where was it? You cannot be calling a radio station without shame to advocate that people should remain as they are in their brutality. It's not allowed. You can't do that in 2020. There must be justice. Nigeria cannot exist without the concept of justice. And what you are suffering right now in this country is that there is an absence of the concept of justice. I cannot believe we have to shout this over and over again. And then you think all people are saying is the people that are attacking Yahoo boys should go. If that is all you can see, it's a damn shame. It's a shame. I live in Abuja.
Okay.
We have those problems here, but still, the person can walk into a place and shot somebody. It's Kaduna, it's not Yahoo boys. But people are being changed. And that Yahoo boys will disappear. Nobody can account for them. They have been killed. We don't see the nation in this country that is at an all-time high. It means that the security outfit of the country has failed. The conversation is not larger than disasters. It's larger than that. We're talking about human rights here. And you can't open your eyes and ears at this time and think that it's the usual simplistic conversation. It's a shame. Nigerians need to learn to read. Nigerians need to learn to have deeper conversations. We cannot be talking about serious things and then you can be there, they're less. What happens to your education? If you can afford a phone, you can afford to educate yourself. And what people are fighting for is that the police needs to be better. Policing must be better.
Okay.
Human rights must be at the center of policing. It's not that difficult. It's not that difficult.
It is not that difficult. Thank you so much, Indicator, for joining us this morning. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. All right, and there you have it, Indicator, right there in Abuja, who has been part of the protest of the end SARS. And this is still a conversation that we must keep having of the betterment of the Nigerian police. We want the police to be better. We all need the police to be better. I, as a young person, I've shared my story several times on the radio of this harassment. Police brutality is something that must end. My mom would say, if you can't see, can't you hear? Hearing the stories, are you not seeing the stories? One of them must be happening to you. And if none of this is happening to you, you need to check yourself. 07000917917 is the number to call to be part of this conversation. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. It's Mustafa from Agbado.
Good morning, Mustafa.
Thank you very much. You see, EndSARS is not the solution to this problem. You see, what the government needs to do is to refresh Nigeria Legal Aid Council, so that all the poor victims of this situation, we can channel their complaint to Legal Aid Council, and the Legal Aid Council will help them to channel those institutions behind that kind of situation. If they can use all their budgetary allocation to pay the necessary compensation to the victim of their operation, the police forces have sense of training of their staff, so they have right to fight crime, and they are victim of impunity. Idea of impunity. That is why these people are behaving like that. Take for instance, before the EndSARS now started, one of the media group, a lawyer by example, I don't want to name it, was arrested, caught with a stolen vehicle, another road. And because of his great interest, that's to undermine the economic community. Because save Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much there, Mustafa. Joining me next in this conversation, but the phone lines are still very much open for you to be part of this conversation. We're having a conversation on the end of SARS and the Police Act of 2020. Nelson Ekujumi, a social commentator and lawyer, is who I'm going to be speaking with right now. Good morning, Nelson.
Good morning.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, now if you follow through on the conversation that has been going on in the last couple of days with regards to the EndSARS protest by a lot of young Nigerians and the collective voice of Nigerians speaking against this, what is your...
I disagree with the modus operandi and the focus of the agitations that have dominated the media as well as the public space in the last couple of days. Because I know for a fact, that the SARS, that's the Special Anti-Robbery Squad of the Nigerian Police, which is the unit of the Nigerian Police as an institution, was set up or is set up to achieve a primary purpose. And that primary purpose is to address violent criminal acts of armed robbery. If a unit of the police or if an agency has been set up to achieve a particular purpose, if that agency is derailing from its primary purpose by straying into other areas not within its purview, it is our responsibility to reform that agency and make sure that it focuses primarily on its core area of competence. You and I know for free that the issue of violent crime, acts of armed robbery, is still prevalent in our society. And the question we should ask ourselves is that, are SARS been able to address it, or is SARS confronting that aspect of our national life the way it's supposed to do it? And the answer is yes, that SARS has been doing its best with regards to combating armed robbery. But in other areas of abuse and brutality of citizens, that is outside of the purview of SARS. There's no institution of the police that is established to go into areas of abusing and violating citizens' rights. And that is why some of us have come out publicly also to say no, it is not about EndSARS, it's about reforming SARS, reforming the police as an institution.
Okay. When you use the word reform, the first thing first, a lot of people have asked questions. I don't know if you follow through on images, videos of seeing some of this brutality by these SARS operatives. Have you seen videos? Yes. And seen
I've seen videos and they are funny, but you see a lot of times when incidences like this occur and you bring it to the notice of the authorities, like the authorities are trying to perform their own act, are trying to carry out their own act of sanitizing their institution. A lot of times complainants don't come up, complainants shy away.
But then, Nelson, follow through on this story, follow through on this. This is not the first time. This is the fourth time in 4 years that we're having SARS. This is the first time we're having it dissolved. But in the last 4 years, and the last 3 years, 4 years now, from 2017 to this time, there has been immediate disbandment of FSARS across all boards in the last 4 years. So the young people have actually been speaking about these particular issues. And the sad part about this is innocent Nigerians are the ones who have been falling victims, not actually criminals.
Yes, the issue of the brutality or abuse of citizens' rights by security agencies is a global phenomenon. You also recognize what happened in the United States of America, that we are still battling with the
Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. That is also a repercussion of the police brutality. It's even happening over there in advanced crime. So the solution is not is to ensure that we have a synergy whereby the people themselves will have confidence in the system, and the system will create an avenue or a platform where they can interface on a regular basis. Because I must tell you for a fact that the relationship between the Nigerian citizenry and the security agencies is too wide. Even the security agencies, that's why I have not put the blame at one part of the divide. I've said the collective force. The institution has not made provisions for us to be able to address our grievances. A lot of these acts of violations, a lot of these infringement of citizens' rights are not addressed even by the police authorities. You saw those pictures. You want to ask, if these pictures have come out that operatives of an institution of state set up by law to perform a specific function is going outside his function, is committing acts of even criminality, if you allow me to use that word, what is the authorities themselves? What are they doing to address, those shortcomings, to assure the citizens that, look, as an institution, we will not condone any act of lawlessness from our operating staff. They are not doing that. And even with the citizens, a lot of times we make all the noise. The moment, the issue is resolved, we don't see it through. A lot of times people that have been trampled upon, and you go to them that, look, I want to help you get justice. Oh, you will say, my brother said I should leave it. My daddy said he doesn't have time.
But that's not the more reason why we should rather not have the force with the people than always make an excuse for them. Because for what you have said, they have spoken several times, and we have said, okay, we make our appeal known to the government. They say they disband it. We make our appeal known to the government again. They say they disband it. But the situation doesn't change. Is that not enough reasons for the people to say, okay, if for the last 4 years you have been saying you have stopped these particular things from happening, but the streets are no longer safe, the people in the executive arm of government who are closer to their death are more likely to live longer than a young man who is in his prime?
No. The life expectancy of anybody is in the hands of God. Even one can be sleeping in his house, and if the Almighty wants to take the life, the person will not wake up. But that is by the wayside, But the truth of the matter is that if we have called for the reformation or overhaul of an institution, and it is not achieving the desired result, it is not enough for us to say we should abrogate that, because that institution, we all recognize that institution is set up to perform a specific purpose in our national life. And the question is that institution living up to that billing in that area? If it is good, which other area is that institution going into that we feel it is not right? And that is the area we should address that. Look,
so, Nelson, from your perspective, FSAS has been living up to their expectations apart from their excesses. Is that what you're saying?
There's nothing like NSAS. So NSAS, don't say NSAS. That is a slogan. It's a catchy.
Okay.
SARS is SARS, not NSAS. NSAS is a catchy. It's a slogan, against, the excesses of SARS. So I think we must give that clarity. That SARS stands for Special Anti-Robbery Squad, whether at the federal level or at the state level. The NSAS is a slogan by advocates of, who are campaigning that they should scrap or abrogate SARS because of its excesses, which there's nobody in this country can say that he or she is unaware or he or she has not fallen victim of SARS, violations either directly or indirectly.
Okay.
But the truth of the matter is that policing as an institution, has to be departmentalized, has to be put into unit, such that it will have primary focus. Because you can't, for example, look at the Nigerian police now. They have a traffic section. That's the motor traffic unit to address area of traffic. They have an investigative section. That is about investigation. They have a SARS unit. That is about violent crime. They have an anti-fraud unit. So you must departmentalize, because nobody, no policeman must be made to feel that is a matter of war. You must have your area of competence so that we can have efficiency. And that is the purpose of departmentalizing or putting these aspects of the police into various units to address specific needs of the society. We are talking about NSAS today. Other units of the police, are they also living up to their billing? Are they not staying out of their area of competence?
That's why there's also a general conversation to end police brutality in the country.
Pardon?
There's also the conversation around ending police brutality in the country. I don't know if you have read through the demands of the young people with regards to this particular issue of the NSAS. And some of their demands are the immediate release of all arrested protesters, justice for all deceased victims of police brutality, and appropriate compensations for their families, setting up an independent body to oversee the investigation and prosecution of all reports of police misconduct. In line with the new Police Act, psychological evaluation and retraining to be confirmed by an independent body for all disbanded SARS officers before they can be redeployed, and also increase police salaries so that they can be adequately compensated for protecting lives and property of citizens. These are the demands that are being made by the people, by the Nigerian youths.
Well, some of the demands are very legitimate, they are very valid. But I don't think the problem of the Nigerian police revolves around the salary rate or salary. I think the problem of the Nigerian police goes beyond that. There's also the need for us to look at the psychology of the average policeman. How long do we conduct necessary psychological tests? Is this policeman in the right frame of mind to perform the act of policing? Those are the questions we should ask. What is the curriculum of the average Nigerian police institution? When new intakes of the Nigerian police, are people coming into the job because they believe that, look, this is one area of competence that I want to serve my society? Are they doing that? So those are the questions we need to ensure we look at. Not just we agree that victims should be compensated. You cannot just ask for the release of those who are in tax custody. It has to be investigated. Are they in tax custody based on crimes they have committed or they are
No. The demand here states protesters who have been arrested.
Oh, fine. I'm at home with that. Because the right to protest is a legitimate and is a natural right. Even the Constitution, allows it. The overall of the Nigerian police is what we should be. Not only the Nigerian police, but the country as well needs to be overall. But in this case, we are focusing primarily at one sector of the Nigerian state. That is the policing institution. So there is need for us to have an overall to look at how far the police have performed. What are those things that need to be done for us to have, a holistic, examination of whatever they are doing? Because it's like what has happened in the past that we keep on with the van, we change. It's like we are resorting to, smoke screen changes. We are not going down the whole org. So this time around, one expects that the authorities will do the needful with regard for calling for memorandum, calling for expert opinion and advice on areas that they feel that can correct some of the ills or some of the shortcomings associated with this unit of the Nigerian police.
Yes, thank you so much, Nelson Akujimi. 14 minutes actually to 10 on the radio this morning. Let's keep those calls coming in on 070-317-56537. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, my name is Ismail Abdullah.
Good morning, Ismaila.
Yeah, well, my own contribution this morning is that, we need to thank Almighty God that at least SARS has been cancelled. Initially, when it was introduced, I think I would say it as a good thing, but at the end of the day, they lost focus. They lost area of concentration. Because what they are being sent to do is to cause them crime. And now they become an enemy to the people they are to protect against crime. They are even then they themselves now turn criminal. Because if you see the way as I'm under the bridge last time, the way SARS was handling two boys. But without any investigation or any evidence that they have committed a crime. Even if they are Yahoo, at least you need to, I'm not supposed to Yahoo, but you need to investigate and know this one's really Yahoo or this one really, but it's not, there are some young boys that got good employment that can use good cars. But when they see you in a good car, the next thing they will stop and start embarrassing. When I look at there's nothing I can do, so I just look like a helpless man. Then the next thing I just drove by, I drove 5 past. So, and I don't know what now end with those because what I'm saying I was around 8:39 when you are coming from the office. I met them the way they are ransacking them, those boys hands up, they are checking. So the way it has been ended, I think the way they are is good. And this also shows that if we need something and we persist on it, then the government will listen. This also shows that yes, we need to be persistent in what we want. so that the government can listen. We should not be able to shout today, then tomorrow we'll go back and sleep without getting to the end of what we want. And also the general police needs to look into, because the generality of police, I can say 80% of the police, they are very brutal when it comes to handling with the Nigerian citizens. And they say when you have problems, go to the senior boss. Sometimes some of their senior boss are very rude. Because it has happened to me at what they call this Red Cross. When the senior one, the junior talk to me anyhow, I said, okay, let me see the DPO. At least as a citizen, I have right to see the DPO. In talking to the DPO, he said, who are you? I said, well, my name is Ismail Abdullah. He said, hey, because you see me outside, I'll have them to lock you now. Get out of my sight. Then I said, this is the DPO heading this place? Then definitely the boss has to be rude. Because the DPO himself met him one-on-one. So please, they need to look at it. That is why sometimes when you have peace, you just decide your food. Let it go, because you go and meet the senior in the office, it's going to be the same thing. So
all right, thank you. Thank you, Ismaila.
Your analyst was saying that we normally move back. Those are the reasons.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Ismaila. Coming back to you, Nelson, I hope I don't know if you followed through that on September 16, 2020, President Muhammad Buhari communicated his accent to the Nigerian Police Bill 2020 to the National Assembly to the clerk of the legislature. What is your perspective to this particular new bill, and how would this effect change in the Nigerian police force?
Well, I have not had the opportunity of going through the bill in totality, but I believe that such a bill, the bill is before the National Assembly, that the necessary stakeholders will do the needful in examining that bill and providing the way forward before that bill eventually passes the various stages in the National Assembly. There's always this window called the public hearing, where the National Assembly will inform the country that, look, a bill to social effect is before us. Please kindly submit memoranda to the secretary of the committee or come in person when we are holding in the public sitting. So I think such a bill, the Nigerian people must also keep their eyes on the ball, because the responsibility for making a society orderly and peaceful, as well as the prosperity of any society, is a collective enterprise. It's not the responsibility of only those who have been elected. As citizens, we need to keep our eyes on the ball to ensure that our leaders do the right thing. And talking about what your last caller just said, yes, I agree with him, but the truth of the matter is that the police all over the world is supposed to be your friend. But unfortunately, that is not the case in our country, Nigeria, because of the way we run our police. We run a policing system where the policeman who is programmed to me, he doesn't have any stake in my community. So that also affects the policing as an agency that relates with the civil populace. That as I'm living here in Agege now, the person who is my DPO is supposed to be living within Agege, so that when any crime occurs, he or she, or when violations like this occur, he will know that, oh, the person that I heard was arrested, or the person that was brutalized, it could be my cousin, it could be my distant, it could be my neighbor that will live in the same neighborhood. They will be more concerned. But when you bring somebody who has no linkage with the environment, the detachment, the emotional attachment that is security.
I really appreciate your time, and I hope that our government will do the right things with regards to ensuring that they protect the lives and properties of Nigerians.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yes. All right. 8 minutes to 10 this morning. I think I'll just take one more call and I'll call it a wrap this morning. Hello, good morning.
My dear brother.
Yes, good morning.
I need to propose some solution.
Okay.
I think the best thing that we should do at this stage is to set up an independent body that will be going around all the police commissions in Nigeria. Let that body be directly under the supervision of the vice president, so that we can monitor what's going on. If you see the kind of atrocities going on, it's unfathomable. And I want us to see how we can provide body cameras for all the police officers. It's very germane. And provide CCTV cameras in police stations, and so that these task force people can monitor what goes on. There is no on base without paying. There's no way. Even your lawyer will tell you that yeah, we have to pay something. So it is all over the federation. So how do we continue in such a situation? Wherever the law enforcement officers of the nation are the most lawless, then that nation is doomed. So let's do something urgently about
Thank you.
police in Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Odede. I think on that note, we'll wrap up this conversation this morning. And a lot of people have their various concerns towards the Nigerian police and towards the new police act that 2020 that has been passed to the National Assembly by President Muhammadu Buhari. But the major thing that remains is we must remain patriotic as much as possible. As much as we condemn these things, we must remain patriotic. As much as we are speaking about these things, whether we agree or not with some of the things that are ongoing with the conversations around the protest, with the conversations around an executive order from the president to actually dissolve the SARS, is something that it's not just a concern for one person, it concerns everyone. So let's use our collective power as the people to continue to drive the change that we desire and that we want to see. This is a wake-up call to Nigerians, and let's hope that 2023 would come and we'll make better choices. Good morning. My name is Daniel Adaja. Let's have a beautiful day. At 10 o'clock would be Radio Doctor, your free health consultation radio program, where real doctors advise real people.
Where the rush go like this now?
Imagine, I send some money give my pikin. They call sama me 50 naira debit alert where they call stamp duty. Yeah, they go there now. Man, know wetin cause that one.
You don't know what is stamp duty mean?
China letter one post.
Stamp duty no be about posting letter matter. The 50 naira na stamp duty levy wey bank dey charge on top customer wey do transfer of 10,000 naira and above from one bank account to another one. Then they also collect am on top instruments like different agreement dem between people and company. Paying stamp duty and they make the document dey